Hey, YouTubers, happy Homebrew Wednesday. Sorry, I'm just a little under the weather right now. I'm drinking some coffee. So, hopefully, by the end of this video, maybe I'll be drinking a beer. We'll see. I just want to let you guys know I went ahead and brewed up my 11-gallon batch this past weekend, which, like I said, is the first time I ever attempted 11-gallon batch. And I'm just gonna warn you guys, the end of it, like the last 5 minutes of my boil to actually putting it through my uh, plate chiller and all that kind of stuff. One of my neighbors came over and I couldn't tape it at that point because I was talking to him. So I'll just talk about it and explain what went well, what didn't go well. Again, thank you to all my subscribers. I'll just say that up front. And I'm going to go ahead and switch over to some video real quickly, all the way from just showing you my yeast starter real quickly. I basically did a 1.75 liter yeast starter, and I ended up splitting it between my two fermenters when it was all said and done. So let me flip over to that, and then I will be back with you guys when it's done. And just I'll let you guys know a little bit of the video I sped up, and some of it I didn't speed up. So just to keep this so it wasn't too long.
Alright, so my plan is to mash this at 150, sitting at 153 right now. I'm going to stir it a little bit more. Once it gets to around 151, 152, I'm going to go ahead and close this up and start my timer.
Alright, I'm just heating up my sparge water. Probably heat it up to about 180. So we're just a little over 140 right now, but we still got 13 minutes left in the mash. I kind of ran some sanitizer through my wort chiller. Just got the hose sitting in there. I'll run some more sanitizer through it. And then I've got all my hops and everything. So I've got half-ounce Centennial, half-ounce Centennial, half-ounce of Cascade, Irish Moss and Yeast Nutrient, and then a half-ounce of Cascade. So 55, 30, 20, 10 minutes, and then 5 minutes. So once we start Vorloffing, then I'll be back. Alright, you can see my, I did a 75-minute mash. You can see that's just about up. I went ahead and put a temp gauge in quickly. Put this in around 151, 152. You can see it held pretty well. It's sitting at 150 still, so I'm going to go ahead and start a Vorloffing here in a minute. Alright, I'm doing my second Vorloff right now, and you can actually see it's actually coming out pretty clear. I'll probably go ahead and Vorloff this 3 times, but it looks like it's already clearing itself out pretty well. So I will be back with you when I start my first runnings. I'm just draining my mash tun right now for my first runnings, so you can see it's water's probably getting kind of low. It's coming out a nice golden color. You can see this is a 7.5 gallon pot, so I'm guessing I have maybe 3 gallons or so in here right now. Once this empties out and I'm doing my batch sparge, then I'll take a reading on my first runnings. Alright, so we probably ended up with, I don't know, probably 3.5 to 4 gallons first runnings. I filled this up to about 13 gallons. We're down to about 10 right now because I am filling this up to do a batch sparge. And I will hold this for 15 minutes and then I will do my second runnings. And I may have to do a second sparge because, let's see, I'm at I was at 13, so 7.5 gallons. And you can see this is pretty full, so I think I'm going to stop it. And then I'll do a second running and see how full I get, and then I may have to do another batch sparge. Alright, we're up to 8 gallons right now, so I went ahead and kicked my burner on. I dumped a second set in there, so I'm filling this up again. And we can look in here, there's still a pretty good amount in here. So I'm going to keep draining this until I get to about 13.5 to 14 gallons. Alright, I had to scoop off some of the stuff. It rose up pretty good on me, but we just hit hot break, so I'm going to start my 70-minute timer. Alright, we've been boiling for about 15 minutes, so this is going to be our 55-minute edition. And so that was a ½ ounce of Centennial. Alright, we are at our 20 minute. Sorry you missed the 35 minute, but my phone died. So, let's go over and dump that in. And we're sitting at about 13 gallons right now. We've been boiling for a little under an hour, so we've had probably a little less than a gallon boil off so far. Alright, we have 10 minutes left and we're adding in the Irish moss and yeast nutrient. Alright, I just pulled out my dip tube, my falta bottom and everything. I just wanted to show you guys about how much I had left. So, yeah, don't know exactly how much of that is, but as far as dead space, it's not too bad. It did a pretty good job sucking everything out of there. This is about 36 hours later. So it looks like they're chugging away nicely. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I did my best shooting that video. A few things I want to get to first. First, I want to give a shout out to Glenn at Homebrew Brewery. He sent me one of these guys, which is pretty cool. It's a bottle opener. So thanks again, Glenn. I just got that in the mail this past week. Another thing I'm going to share with you guys, and I'll use it, is a beer. This one here. Alright, it's called Barrel Trolley IPA. And there's really hardly any information on it at all as far as, alcohol level, IBUs, all that kind of stuff. So, if I want to give you my thoughts on it, I figure I'll just do a quick pour so you guys can see it. So first thoughts, nice and clear, blah, blah, blah. So basically, my thoughts of this beer is I'll never buy it again. I bought a Arcadia IPA, Arcadia, and then I bought this guy. This was on sale for like $6 and I'll have to look this up. I don't know. Maybe this is a Budweiser one or something. I don't know. I'll have to look it up because that's what it tastes like. It tastes like a crappy domestic beer with a little bit of hops. It's not that great. So, anyhow, I'll never buy that one again. Just wanted to let you guys know in case you guys were ever thinking of trying it. It's a very, very mediocre beer. Next time I'll definitely spend an extra $1 or $2 and get something much better. So you never know till you try, though. Anyhow, back to my brew. Everything went pretty well. I ended up with close to 12 gallons of my blonde ale. I had a small discrepancy between my hydrometer and my refractometer. And I'm not quite sure why yet. My hydrometer came out around 1036, 1037. My refractometer came out around 11 bricks, so close to 1044. So now when I did look at my refractometer the other day, I thought I cleaned it well, and it looked like there was a little bit of a caked on wort on it. So I'm wondering if a little bit residue came over from my first runnings, and maybe I just didn't clean it off well enough. So anyhow, no big deal. So, but other than that, everything went well, and I am so glad I got the 11-gallon brew out of the way. It's something that's been eating away at me. I've been wanting to try. I'm glad I did it. 80% of it, 90% of it went pretty well. Couple bad things happened. One is I used my brew kettle for my hot liquor tank and my brew kettle. Now, that didn't work too badly, but the problem was I did something stupid. I ended up with about 2 gallons left in my brew kettle, or in my hot liquor tank / brew kettle, after I'd done my batch sparges, everything, which I figured I would have. So what do? I grab my keggle, pull it down to the ground, go to tip it over, grab the bottom, start tipping it, and I put my bare hand on the bottom of that keggle. So luckily I didn't burn it too badly because I got it off fast and ran it under cold water, but stupid is as stupid does, right? Just wasn't thinking. Now, I told you guys before that I tested out my plate chiller. And it dropped it down to about 40 degrees, right? I told you guys I had the water at about 120. It dropped it down to about 80. I immediately had you guys come out and say, oh, you had the valve open wide open. I was like, ah, crap, duh. I completely forgot. So when I was draining this off into my fermenting buckets, which I have a little temp strip on, I opened it up probably about a third of the way. Maybe I should have done a little less, but so here we are sitting at about 205 to 210 degrees, somewhere in there, or even closer to 212, whatever, because I just cut it off. And it entered my bucket at about 82 degrees. So it really was quite efficient, if you think about it. I mean, all the way from over 200 down to 82 degrees, I can't complain too much. So maybe next time I will close the valve a little bit more. But then my neighbor noticed that my hose I had going into my wort chiller was wide open. The hose I had coming out had kind of a little pinch clamp on it. So he was thinking that the water going in had a full flow and maybe the water coming out was a little bit restricted. So maybe I wasn't getting like real good flow all the way through the wort chiller. So next time I'm going to switch hoses on my outs and just make sure I have really good flow coming out. But anyhow, I can't complain. I mean, 210 degrees down to 82 degrees instantly. I'm very happy with that. So what I did was I took both my fermenting buckets, put them in the basement in my tub. I filled my tub up with cold water. I brought it down to about 75 degrees, 74, somewhere between 73 to 75 degrees. I took my drill attachment, aerated the wort, and then I split my 1.7 liter starter between the two fermenters, and as you could see, it was chugging away nicely. So, anyhow, I don't want to, I'm not going to ramble on too much longer because I'm already probably approaching 15 minutes or so when you put all the footage together. So, I've already watched a bunch of your videos, commented on a bunch of them. I'm going to continue watching them today. I'll watch some more tomorrow and some more on Friday. So, other than that, I hope you guys have a good Wednesday. Have a good rest of your week. Happy Homebrew Wednesday, and cheers.